So there's three basic kinds of contributors to a startup company.
Okay.
There's the startup team, which I call a grunt. It's called a grunt fund sometimes. Startup team member is someone who contributes to a startup and is not paid for their contribution, whether it be time or materials or money. They're not reimbursed for any expenses. That's a startup team member. And you can call them a founder or an early employee, whatever you want. If someone's contributing and not getting paid, they're placing bets just like anybody else. So I could call you my employee, but if you're placing bets, you're treated the same as me in slicing pie.
Mm-hmm.
The second kind of investor, contributor, is called an angel investor. An angel investor is someone who invests their own money in amounts that are too small to fund your operations in the foreseeable future. So chunks of cash, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, maybe 100,000, small chunks of cash, my own money. The third type of investor is a professional investor who invests large chunks of money of other people's money in chunks that are large enough to fund your operations. That are usually known as a VC. Those are the three types of equity investors. Now, there's credit card debt and all kinds of other things. Those are the three basic types of investors. So anyone participating in the company and making contributions without being paid is considered a participant in the slicing pie model. You keep track of their bets. When you can pay them, the betting stops. So if I paid you your full market salary, you wouldn't deserve any equity in the company, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're just getting paid. In fact, that's how most people work. They just get paid, and that's that. But if you're not getting paid, you deserve a chunk of equity that's based on your bet. An angel investor should always get a convertible note. Convertible note is one that is basically a loan that at a certain point in the future turns into equity at the terms of the first major round of funding.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that's important is because if you set a price for your equity too early, you create all kinds of problems. And a lot of people give their mom 5% for $5,000, for instance.
Right.
Or give an early investor. When I sell 5% for $5,000, I just implied that my company is worth $100,000. That make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now when I give future equity grants, it can be taxed as income because it has a price now. Plus, I basically create a budget of $95,000 that when I run through is gone. And so it creates all kinds of problems. So the first VC round, the first Series A round should be your first priced round. So you use slicing pie for founders and early employees that are taking risk. And that's the poker's the blackjack example. So my share of the equity is based on my share of the bets. I give angel investors convertible notes that will convert later on. And when they convert, all the pie holders will dilute appropriately on equal footing. So everyone's in the same boat. Because my dollars always worth the same as your dollar, no matter if I'm the founder or the early employee.
Mm-hmm.
So all I got to do is keep track of what I contribute. Now, a lot of startups don't do that. They don't keep track of their expenses because they don't have any expenses because they're just working for free. But most companies track payroll, they track expenses, they track revenue. So as a matter of how you run a company, tracking these things is not very hard. So all you got to do is track you're not paid, and then you'll always do your bet. So what's going on is you don't know your split up front. You only know when the betting stops. That's a Series A or break even. So the split changes over time, which makes a lot of people uncomfortable. But if you think about it, all equity splits change because if you go in 50-50, we're going to have to adjust it sooner or later.